Meghan Markle's three-word response greatly surprised Queen Elizabeth II. Welcome! Please subscribe to our YouTube channel before watching the video so you don't miss any of our latest content. Thank you for your support. When Meghan Markle joined the royal family, Queen Elizabeth II warmly welcomed her and gave her some advice. However, the Duchess of Sussex's three-word response greatly surprised the Queen. Continuing to study Robert Jobson's book Our King, Charles III Revealed Man and Monarch. It describes many different stories from the modern life of the royal family, particularly focusing on the relationships between the Sussexes and other royal relatives. Meghan Markle had a one-on-one conversation with Queen Elizabeth when she first married Prince Harry. The Queen had many kind words for her and expressed how happy she was that Harry had finally found love. During this conversation, Queen Elizabeth II gave Meghan one advice: to seek help from the Countess of Wessex, now the Duchess of Edinburgh, Sophie, wife of Prince Edward. With her help, Meghan would have adapted to the rules of royal life more quickly. But Meghan's response surprised the Queen as she simply said, "I have Harry." The Queen was confident that Harry and Meghan's marriage would start off well, and she offered the Duchess the assistance of one of her most trusted aides, Sophie. However, unfortunately, the former actress did not take the advice and later complained that no one had taught her or told her about the rules. Another interesting news for you. Prince Harry spoke harshly to his father over the phone. The conversation was overheard by advisors. Calling, arguing, and begging became a norm for Harry. This happened repeatedly while the Queen was alive. The grandson would often call her from California, mostly complaining, attempting to create scandals, and asking for money. Robert Dobson writes in his new book, "A source from the palace told me, Her Majesty found Prince Harry's calls quite difficult and exhausting. She did not want to interfere in the relationship between father and son and urged Harry to talk to his father." Harry did exactly that, redirecting all his excessive activity towards Charles. All the conversations revolved around the father not paying enough attention to them, that Doria, Meghan, and the children needed more money and the allowances were not sufficient. When Charles clearly, considering his softness, told Harry in one of the recent conversations that he could no longer support Montecito, the prince cursed loudly at his father, despite knowing that the conversation was on speakerphone and could be overheard. Shocked, Charles stopped picking up the phone after that, and during Harry's last visit, he could not hear the king as all the conversations were with his secretary. Charles himself stated that he is not a bank and not a wallet for Harry's needs. Another fresh news for you. Why did Prince Andrew appear next to the king? This is a sign, according to commentators and those who write about the royal family. Let me retell the evening dispute between Phil Dampier and Peter Hunt in the chat. Hunt, a royal correspondent for the BBC, pointed out that the royal family never does anything without a reason. The appearance of Prince Andrew at the Easter royal service next to the monarch is an obvious sign to everyone, the commentator claims. Phil objects, saying that it's impossible to lock up the Duke of York for the rest of his life in a room. But while the two authors of books about the British royal family and old royal journalists argue, I'll digress. If an attentive viewer noticed, I didn't even see Prince Andrew in the procession at the Easter service last Sunday at first. He was walking somewhere in the middle of the crowd of relatives. But a few steps later, our former Vice Admiral was already next to Princess Anne. And her husband, Sir Timothy, on the contrary, stepped back. And here, the Duke of York is briskly walking alongside the king. And everyone seems to be fine with it. Perhaps some would like to object, but after all, the king is not protesting. So we, in the rear, should remain silent and be content, or pretend that everything is fine with us. The same Hunt claims to know for certain that Prince William was categorically against the public return of the disgraced Duke. Many Britons continue to blame him not only for his friendship with the notorious Epstein, they were all young and hot-headed, but also for his close relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, who is now negotiating with the U.S. prosecutor for a lesser sentence. Many are convinced that the secret deals with Arab sheiks, trading status with Sarah, all of this, no less than Harry's antics, is literally sinking the ship of the monarchy, desperately trying to stay afloat. So why does Charles allow Andrew to do things that even his own mother, who loved her middle son so much, forbade him? I'm talking about the unexpected public appearances of the Duke of York, whose citizens of York revoked his honorary title just a year ago. In other words, Yorkshire refuses to consider Andrew as their sovereign. The flow of letters from military personnel to Buckingham Palace with statements and requests to strip the former Vice Admiral of his military titles also came in the past year. And now, Andrew, who has not moved from his luxurious royal lodge in Frogmore Cottage, named after the Montecitos, is demanding more and more loudly to have his privileges returned. And it seems that he is confident that he will be forgiven for everything. A small addition: in February, Prince Andrew publicly announced that he is preparing his memoirs. At that time, only those who knew were alarmed. Andrew has something to say about his older brother, his Camilla, and even Harry. This was confirmed to me by the same English journalists who write about the royal family. I repeat, the current king, despite his Shakespearean passion for the Major's daughter, was a guest at Epstein's parties. And there is a very good version, in my opinion, that Andrew is keeping his family on a leash tightly, as his memoirs may contain many accusations against the Windsors. Peter Hunt summed it up yesterday in the chat for the Royal Pool: the next stop for Andrew is the coronation. And then. Of course, this is just an observation for now. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this. Your support means a lot to me. See you in the next video.